well as Tuesday Wrestling, and you know what that means. So today we have NWA Powerrr, AEW Dark, and NXT. So all of that will be reviewed and discussed about on this episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay, right here. So let's begin with the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA Powerrr. It started out with, of course, an interview with Trevor Murdock. As you know, what happened a couple weeks ago, he got into a bit of a scuffle with Chris Adonis, who attacked him after he actually lost to him. Chris Adonis got a little rematch against him and tried to and was successfully to dethrone him from the NWA National Championship. However, Trevor Murdock was disgusted with the malicious lies that Nick Aldis put out, saying that he will not condone Aldis's behavior, Adonis' behavior actually. But however, Murdock confronted him, and of course they continued the beatdown. But as a fan who's been following Murdock for years, if I were him, I would go for the much bigger title. You know what I mean? The NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold. But however, Nick Aldis doesn't seem like he wants to defend it. He wants to hold on to it, be the longest reigning champion. But however, he is scheduled to be in some kind of an exhibition match. But he also told Trevor Murdock to take the night off, do not get involved. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now, Slice Boogie, if you guys recall, him and Matthew Nims were involved in a tag match against Crimson and Jack Stain. Apparently, Slice Boogie is determined to make a name for himself. He called him out. Now, I don't know when or where that's going to happen. Instead of focusing on, he's mostly focused on May Valentine's, you know what. So, we'll see what happens down the line. Now, Sal Rinauro has been determined to get a shot of the tag team titles. But however, Aaron Stevens made it clear if he wants a title shot, he needs to prove that he earned it. However, we were still the spectacle. Who is his tag team partner? But he did give a hint, and that was he was an NWA champion. Now, I don't know why. Something was telling me it was Tim Storm. Throughout much of the match, there was no one there. But it was Tim Storm. And because of that, JR Kratos lost his mind. He nearly tried to hurt Murnau, but Stevens tried to control him, tried to tell him that this is not the way, and then it cost him the match. Now, Aaron Stevens have turned over a new leaf ever since Joseph S. or aka the question mark passed away. Now, it wouldn't surprise me down the line if JR Kratos decided to drop the titles, because I do know that Adonis and Latimer have their sights on those titles. They want the Strictly Business want to obtain every last of the championships that are out there. You know, Adonis has the national. Kamille is aiming for the national, the end of the women's title. Latimer originally was after the TV title, but he had no success. And of course, we know that Nick Aldis has the 10 pounds of gold. But however, it did allow them for a win. But the real question remains, does he have what it takes to win those titles? We just gotta wait and see. Now, ever since the Pope has been a fighting champion, recently Tyrus has acting differently, trying to put himself over by using Pope. But Pope didn't take that too kindly, even though they'd known each other before. But this was like draw the attention. Now, however, if he wants a shot of the not of the TV title, he had to be involved in the match. It was a last minute step add in. He was part of the triple threat match for the number one contendership for the NWA TV championship. It was not only him, he had Marshall Rocket and, of course, Matt Cross. Now, you can tell from this story how it goes, if you guys seen it, that Tyrus will do anything in his power to obtain that title. That's pretty much the story how it is. Does he have what it takes to dethrone him? Don't know, but I would like to see it. Now, a couple weeks ago in an exhibition match, we had Genocide teaming with Sky Blue taking on Thunder Rosa and Alex Gracia. However, Kamille ruined the moment. She acted in the Power Surge, which was no wrestling matches, just recaps of matches since the return. That she didn't do anything wrong. That she ruined the moment. She doesn't see it that way. She thinks I didn't do nothing, you know. But however, in this one, it was evenly matched. It was a very good match. These two women are heavily evenly matched, in size. But however, it took only 2 spears for Kamille to put down Genocide. As soon as that's over, here comes Melina confronting her, believing that she doesn't deserve to be a women's champion due to the fact that what she did, like the way she defeated Thunder Rosa, kind of like was uncalled for. But Thunder Rosa came out as soon as Kamille whacked Melina up. So pretty much this is a feud that's gonna happen. Kamille is sick and tired of people giving too much credit to to Thunder Rosa being the best woman. She is trying to determine she's a powerhouse, and that's what she's determined to do. Now, the main event was supposed to be Jordan Clearwater against Nick Aldis. But however, there was a brawl between Murdock against Latimer and Adonis, so it kind of ended in that type of way. But however, it wouldn't surprise me down the line that we may see Trevor Murdock trying to obtain the 10 pounds of gold. So this is something we got to pay attention with the NWA, how this is going to go. This is a bit of the old school style, but now it's becoming more exciting to watch. So that's pretty much it. Let's move on with AEW Dark. Okay, so we got AEW Dark. It started out with Darby Allin talking about his upcoming challenger for the TNT title, Jungle Boy. So he gave his perspective about him. So he's telling him, turn off the happy boy that you are and be the intense challenger you need to be. So he's trying to fire him up. So I have to say that really was a good promo video package of sending a message to Jungle Boy. But we'll see on Dynamite if he does bring his A game. From my understanding, it's going to be the main event of Dynamite. Now, the opening match, we got Joey Janela taking on Will Ade. Now, I heard of this guy's name before, but I never seen him wrestle. But I can tell you, anyway, Joey Janela won, as he is, because he's one of the top stars in AEW. Next match, tag team match, we got SCU's Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian taking on John Skyler and Rising. And of course, you can guess that SCU won with that infamous move that they do. And that's pretty much what's been happening. Next match, an interesting, another tag team, but this time it's the women's. We got Kylan King, Big Swole, along with Red Velvet taking on Ashley and Steph MK. Like I said, I like this Kylan King, Big Swole, and Red Velvet being a team. I would like to see them together. They need to start doing that, allowing the women being part of their own stable factions. But it was a good match. It did allow Big Swole was the one who picked up the victory for her team. Next match, we got the Butcher and the Blade taking on Brick Aldrich and Cole Carter, you can guess right away. The unstoppable force the Butcher and the Blade have been, but at the same time, you know for a fact that their war with the Dark Order is far, far from over. Now we throw into this little segment with Ryan Bennett, JD Drake, and Caesar Bononi. Now the Hollywood hunk trying to say that JD Drake cannot be sexy, but boy, he really got pissed, so he's trying to prove he can be sexy. Well, I don't know if you can be sexy, but I would like to see you try. Next match, Sonny Kiss in a singles competition against Jake Manning. This match kind of now exploring a little more about Sonny Kiss, not only because we have seen him in singles competition, but we have seen him from the early times as a single competitor. Great athletic person, but he won the match amazingly. But however, he did put in a post match the locker room on notice. That is something you got to pay attention with. Next match, we got the Dark Order. Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, and 10 taking on um, Midas Black, Jay Lyon, and Ken Broadway. Now, you can get, in the entire time, as you know, Ken Broadway always brings out money. Negative One actually was taking it and trying to bribe Bryce Rembrooks. It's so funny. But you can guess by that Dark Order won by using the fatality ending the match, which is pretty amazing. Next match, we have Billy Gunn along with his sons taking on Andrew Palace. But this match also went quicker due to the fact that Billy has a grudge against QT after what happened where he turned his back on the Nightmare family. And of course, QT cheap shotted him on Elevation. So this is something we got to pay attention about. Next match, we have Fuego del Sol taking on Dante Martin. This is one of those matches that you know for a fact there's going to be a lot of spots in this one. Now, there's nothing wrong about that because if you guys notice, these guys are very athletic, very aerial type of wrestlers that you definitely want to see. They were almost evenly matched, but however, I did not expect. I would have assumed, in my personal opinion, that Fuego was going to win, but nope, thank God I was wrong. It was Dante Martin, even though we do know him as a tag team specialist, but we can't wait to see his brother Darius to return. Next match, we got Diamante taking on Queen Aminata. I can tell you, Diamante won. I mean, she is a phenomenal wrestler. There's been talk from other wrestling outlets about her. Maybe LAX Santana Ortiz should ditch the Inner Circle and form a somewhat version of LAX. Well, I would like to see that, but we'll just wait and see down the line what's going to happen. Next match, we have the Varsity Blondes taking on Hayden Backlund and Kits Sackett. Now, I have to say the Varsity Blondes are now making a very, very impressive resume as a tag team group, and they're getting closer to the top of the rankings, and I can't wait to see them more. But I love how they have been cohesive unit, but I can tell you they won their match. Next up, we got 5 of the Dark Order taking on Max Caster, but you guys can guess right away. Once again, Anthony Bowen got involved, allowing for Max Caster to win. He thinks he can take on the entire Dark Order, but he was unable to defeat Hangman Page since he's an associate member. But sooner or later, someone is going to take out the Acclaim. Now, the next 2 matches went on quick. We have Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Baron Black. You can guess right away Hobbs put him away easily, but send a clear message to Christian Cage. And the next, we got Pac, who is not in a happy mood ever since losing to the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So he actually put Dean Alexander in the Brutalizer, which was top of brutal. So that's pretty much what happened in AEW Dark. So let's move on with NXT. Okay, so we got NXT. It opened up with a sudden promo from Kyle O'Reilly. As you know, he had an incredible main event at the Stand and Deliver Takeover event against Adam Cole. So the logical question that many fans would say, okay, what's next for Kyle O'Reilly? Now, for me as a fan, I would suggest that he probably would be going for the top title, the NXT title. Now, you could say, but J Rod, didn't he lose twice? Yes, but it doesn't mean that he can't try. I mean, he lost to Balor twice, but it doesn't mean that he won't back down from it, since we know the current NXT champion is Karrion Kross. So that is something we got to see. But however, he got interrupted by Cameron Grimes. Now, I don't know what Cameron Grimes is trying to do. As you know, he tried to form a have the Undisputed Era name, but however, Kyle O'Reilly does not want anything to do with him, because you know what happened. Cameron Grimes pushed Roderick Strong's buttons, and that's pretty much what happened. But O'Reilly cheap charted him, sending a clear message. Now, the opening match was LA Knight versus Dexter Lumis. Now, LA Knight was not in a happy mood ever since he was eliminated in that gauntlet match, where he could have been challenging for the North American title. He blamed Dexter Lumis. Now, the match was unbelievably good. I enjoyed it, but however, a bit of a romance was happening. Indi Hartwell was right there watching. Even LA Knight thinks that she's making a mistake being with a guy like him. Even though he lost the match, there was a moment where Indi Hartwell was about to kiss Dexter Lumis, but however, the way got in the way, the way to stop her, and they didn't like that. So practically, that's what happened. Now, Leon Ruff, as you know, has been tolerating with the antics of the Zayosaurus squad about everything that he's done, criticizing Leon Ruff from getting opportunities that were handed to him. Now, Leon Ruff earned those opportunities, but however, Swerve did not take that lightly. A week ago, he beat him in a match, but however, Leon Ruff said, "It's over when I say it's over." This is a side of Leon Ruff we've never seen, but if I were Swerve Scott, I would say you woken up a monster. Now, we haven't seen Io Shirai since losing the NXT Women's title to Raquel Gonzalez in night one of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Now, we can go back to In Your House event where she won that title against Rhea Ripley. We can talk about how she lost. She had 300 plus days as the NXT Women's Champion. However, what's her next step? According to her, what she said to Beth Phoenix, she needs to rest her body. As you know, she knew she was a target, that she knew she had to defend that title no matter the cost. However, she did state that as soon as she's healed up and rested, she will get her hands and reclaim the NXT Women's title. However, this interview was interrupted by that Pomeranian, by Frankie Monet, who was trying to sucker up to Beth Phoenix and Io Shirai, but it was sign of disrespect. However, she thinks she can fill Io Shirai's shoes. Like, no, you can't fill Io Shirai's shoes. She is the genius of the sky. There is no secret to me that Frankie Monet will try to get her hands on the titles, because Raquel Gonzalez does know perfectly well they'll be gunning for her. Now, the next match we have Breezango versus Grizzled Young Veterans. Now, the beginning of the match, you see Breezango dressed up as the Queen's Guard. You know, those guys with the black hat and red outfit. I don't know if they were playing a mocking game to the Grizzled Young Veterans since they're British, but I have to say Grizzled Young Veterans are determined to prove that they need to be recognized as the best tag team in all of WWE. As you know, I mentioned countless times about them. They are the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions. It wouldn't surprise me now that they will gun for those titles. and MSK is the team that they have to beat. But they are impressive when they put Breeze, Tyler Breeze out and allowing for them to pick up the victory. Next up we have is was supposed to be an interview by Indi Hartwell, but the way actually tried to stop her. Here comes Bronson Reed saying that you guys can take Dexter Lumis and put him in part of your group. That chance is gonna happen, but however, I would love to see that if I were you guys. Johnny, if you want to keep Indi Hartwell in your little group, you need to keep her happy. And to me, as a fan who follows storylines, I would love to see them recruit Dexter Lumis just to keep Indi Hartwell happy. But however, Bronson Reed did stated that he wants a shot of the title, but once again, Austin Theory tried to play it smart, but it was to no good standard. He said the only way he will have to get to the title, he has to challenge. He has to get through Austin Theory. Johnny was not happy about it, but Bronson was. Now, Cameron Grimes is completely not happy what happened, but you can tell by the way he talks, he will get his revenge. And that is our main event of NXT. Now we get the sudden debut of Sarray, the Warrior of the Sun, taking on Zoey Stark. This match was unbelievably awesome. I have to say, if you guys are not fans of the Japanese wrestling style, then you guys are missing out on everything. But this match was unbelievable. I became a fan of Zoey Stark because I love how she is trying to say, I work hard to get where I'm at. And now she's facing someone who's been recognized all over Japan and everything. But it was unbelievably awesome. And Sarray picked up her first victory on her in-ring debut. But however, as soon as Zoey Starks was leaving, she was suddenly attacked by Toni Storm. Now, this is coming out of the heels ever since Raquel Gonzalez won the NXT Women's title. Now that there are women lining up, Toni Storm wants that, and so does Zoey Starks. But Storm wants to be the one person to do that. And of course, she is, as you know, never dethroned the genius of the sky. And I don't think that'll ever happen ever again. Now, Raquel Gonzalez puts out an interview. She knows that there'll be no surprise that if Io Shirai will return and try to regain, there's no doubt in her mind she will defend it. But however, they did not want to say who are the women who, how do I say, want to challenge Raquel. Dakota Kai kind of spoke out saying that we know that that's what Mercedes Martinez wants. That was her goal. And she said that, I want to go to Hogwarts so I can be a witch and learn wizardry. It is not going to happen. But however, Raquel said all these women need to be lined up and she will take them down one by one. But however, later on in the evening, Mercedes Martinez realized she was expecting Raquel Gonzalez to accept the challenge, but she didn't. So she knew the only way to gain her attention is to take out the one person that is standing in her way, and that person is Dakota Kai. So she's challenging Dakota Kai to send a clear message to Raquel Gonzalez. Now, this next segment is one of my favorite ones. Indi Hartwell and Candice LeRae were going back and forth about how she needs to focus on the women's tag team titles. But as soon as she was losing focus, that's when she saw Dexter Lumis. Indi wanted to confront Moon and Blackheart. She tells them that we are a real tag team. We're family. You guys are nothing. But however, she didn't realize that Indi Hartwell ditched her. And as soon as she realized what happened, she knocked off the water from Moon's hand, but they grabbed her and they took her into the room and beat her up. Later on in the evening, while Gargano was questioning Theory about his dumb decision, they see Candice LeRae all beat up. And of course, Indi Hartwell gave the good news. The first news, she saw Lumis. Second news, she was able to convince William Regal to get a shot of the NXT tag titles. So basically, Indi Hartwell, like Candice LeRae, who's all beat up, doesn't know what to say after Indi Hartwell ditched her. I thought that was funny. Now, this next match, it became an open challenge by the newly crowned of the cruiserweight division, Kushida. The person the person who challenged Kushida is Orny Lorcan. Now, some of you probably would say, who started watching Orny Lorcan, keep in mind, Orny Lorcan is familiarized with the cruiserweight division. He's been in it, he competed in it, and it makes perfect sense. But however, this time we see a new type of Kushida. He's not doing a time splitter type of gimmick. He's going like into that MMA look. He actually walked into the ring with no shoes. So he's starting bringing out the MMA style into his moves. But it was a great match. But however, he was confronted with the vengeful Legado del Fantasma. Looks like they want payback for Santos losing the title to Escobar. But however, Kushida had some backup. MSK stood up for him. So it appears that Santos is now feeling the pressure that he is no longer the emperor that he claims, that he is the true champion. He will try to take a shot of the title. But the real question is, does he have a rematch clause for this? I don't know. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now, this next match we have Everrise taking on Imperium's Eichner Bartel along with Alexander Wolf. As you know, Imperium are now saying they're restoring honor to the great sport. They believe that everybody else is being disrespectful to the sport, and they're saying that the mat is sacred, and they're bringing their message. But however, they had to confront also Killian Dane and Drake Maverick after what happened the last couple of weeks. So, but however, this did not affect Imperium. We do know they will try to gain some gold whenever they have a chance, but they're following orders to spread their message down to NXT. Now, the main event is Kyle O'Reilly versus Cameron Grimes. This is a really big match because Cameron Grimes has stepped up into the biggest matches of his career. And that's been one of those things that we had paying attention about him. But Kyle O'Reilly is determined to win, and that's exactly what he did. He took him out with that knee, the same knee that took out Adam Cole at the unsanctioned match. It was a great match. I have to say, also one of my favorite ones. So the real question is, does he have what it takes to take on Karrion Kross? I don't know. But we just got to wait and see what's going to happen in the upcoming weeks. Now, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I must say I have to, right now, go hit the sack. I'm a little tired for all of you guys. I hope you guys love me reviewing the NWA Powerrr, AEW Dark, and of course NXT. Stay tuned for more of the Road to Dondaku Wrestling, and of course hopefully we got MLW and AEW, so you don't want to miss that. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu, so goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.